You know, I'm gonna say something that's probably uncomfortable. And maybe some who listen will take offense. That's fine, you go ahead, take offense. Maybe you should. Like, I've been homeless for 12 days. And like, I just got an apartment. I've been asking some people for help. Someone's got a pain in the back. Someone's working. Someone, whatever. You know, car broke down, this and that. Look, man. I don't know, I'm disappointed. If you don't help your friends when they're in this kind of mood. I mean, I have so much back pain. Literally there have been days that I talked to AI, I said, look, I think my back is broken and I'm homeless. Like, I'm inflamed, my body is inflamed. I have blisters on every foot. And then, you know, someone kind of having, I don't know, minor headache. Don't let me even talk about you narcissist, and you know who you are. You're not my friends, but you know who you are. I haven't even asked you people for help. You don't know how to help people, you just know how to suck energy for your benefit. Yeah, suck on that caramel. Anyway, I found a decent couple, let me in, really nice place. I need some help to carry, like, it's not like a fucking apartment, it's like minor stuff. And maybe people don't want to associate with me because I'm homeless or whatnot. But rest assured, when I wasn't, I kept homeless people at my place. One for 2 months free, another 2 weeks free, and another woman for a week before she got crazy and I had to throw her out. The majority of people are terrified. And I'm not even saying that lightly. They're so scared, they cannot think properly. Everything's frightening. Oh my God. The authorities, the municipalities. Yeah, they actually do work for you, you know. I understand there can be a pain in the ass. But like, adult people should be able to talk for themselves. And your taxpayer money goes to those municipalities. If you're so fucking afraid of them and the police, what are you thinking? So I'm a little disappointed. Actually, my parents and some friends have been helping me out with like minor, you know, gifts of money, 100, 200 crowns, which means a lot when you have nothing. I appreciate that. But money is the easiest thing to give. If you don't have money, it's, you know, it's a kind of a sacrifice. But usually, if you have money, that is the most like non-engaging thing to give. You just, oh, here's the money, goodbye. Like, that's what rich people do. They give you money. They don't give you like a kind of care or compassion. They give you money. Oh, I gave you money, you should be grateful. I'm like, you gave me the least, the thing that's easiest to give. Money is something you give away to kind of get rid of people, especially if you have a lot. If you're not a narcissistic cunt who believes that, you know, punishment and shame and guilt is the only way to teach people some, you know, common sense, because they shouldn't be homeless. I don't even have time to explain why I am homeless. Besides, you probably would not understand. And I say that sincerely. I'm not the world's smartest individual, but I'm at least top 10. I'm an ontologist. I know you don't know what that means. Google it. There are 4 books for sale. You can buy them under my name. They're ontology. They're spirituality. You spiritards people, I've actually saved your ass. You in your fucking ultra spiritual, everything is love. And then hyper conspiracy, the dark abode, the void nihilist. There is no self. And the chosen one narrative. Oh, chosen one. These are attractor fields. They're balancing dimensions. I've mapped them. So despite you abandoning me, spiritards, I went back and I drew a map that created a sanctuary for your dishonest ass. No, you're not dishonest. You're just where you are, incapable of understanding how to progress. My map gives you the layout. I give you the same advice Christ did. Truth will set you free. Albeit, I evolve it. Truth, defined as non-distortion, will set you free. So, every stage in the consciousness map of development that was started by spiral dynamics, evolved by Ken Wilber, and completed by me, every stage is a psychological home. So it's hard for people to ask him, okay, can you just leave your home? Especially if they've woken up and they never belonged in the matrix, and then they find the new group, the attractor field of being hyper-conspiracy and everything is, the dark cabal. Then you get a belonging. That's your psychological home. That's a tribe. And now I'm basically telling you, you have to abandon the tribe. Because the tribe itself is a cop-out. Sure, it serves a purpose for a while, but it's not the truth. There is no global conspiracy. If you understand enough accumulated knowledge, conspiracy of that kind are impossible. There's too much complexity. Reptilians, whatever. My book Inflection X just explains precisely what the reptilians are. They were here 3,000 years ago. They planted a linguistic virus, a syntactical virus that you are using that has infected everyone fractally over 3,000 years. Trust me, you don't know what it is, but it's absolutely affecting you. And this virus is what creates a division inside humans. Ultimately, the syntactical virus produces a narcissistic personality. The narcissistic personality is the mirror image of the entity, the self-serving entity behind the introduction of 10 commandments. So, the 10 commandments are negational syntax. Thou shalt not. So, to not steal, you have to first think of stealing. To not kill, you first have to think of killing. To first not commit sexual adultery or, whatever. You have to think of sexual adultery. This is called instantiation. Don't think of an apple. There you go. You have to think of an apple if I say don't think of an apple. This is what the syntactical 10 commandments do. They are command ments. Ergo, they are psychic prompts. Okay? A psychic prompt is something that triggers a reaction in the psyche inevitably. This is a highly sophisticated virus. It creates a standing wave of tension inside every human, and that energy is extracted on a subtler level. Now, don't worry about the reptilians, that's basically all they did. If it was one entity, if it was the collective, I don't know, who gives a damn? It's irrelevant. But that's the origin point of the reptilians. They're not some, politicians or reptilians. That's not it. The level of confusion in spirituality is mind-boggling. I have compassion for it because I understand why it happens. But rest assured, you need not only your intuition in spiritual woo-woo, you need accumulated knowledge. Accumulated knowledge means basically data about everything. Once you have enough data and information, you can clearly see that, okay, global conspiracies are impossible structurally. By the way, majority of spiritual people are sensitive and they have issues with boundaries. Let me tell you something. There is one core wound, the Pandora's box. When people go to these healings, like forever, and they get sad because they were kind of not able to put up a boundary, that's not their inner child being wounded. That's their grown-ass self feeling like shit because they failed to properly set up the relational distance that is respectful to their own being. That is not a wound. Do you understand the difference between a wound and a pattern? That is a pattern. Sure, it's connected to some form of wound of inadequacy, but that's not a wound. Like, you can heal that all eternity, it will never change. You can just change the pattern. Next time someone tries to run over you, say, fuck you, motherfucker. And then deal with the, endure how it feels. 3 times and then you're done. Stop projecting love on everything. Everything is not love. Like, that's toxic. Conspiracy people. Come on, man. Of course there's not a global conspiracy. There are interest groups. There are people affecting stuff. Of course there is not one mind behind everything. That's impossible. Just go decide to take a lunch with 5 of your friends and see how easy to get along where you will eat lunch. Yeah, now try to have a group that decides what the entire fucking world should do. And when they decide that, everyone just follows that. You don't think about that there's like laws, implementations, and how the municipalities apply those kind of laws. It's totally different. I'm telling you, what appears as cruelty from, let's say, social services is the result of 10 different lines of incompetence and political engagement. So they have different laws they have to communicate with. So if you have 10 of those kind of structural points that are designed to help people, by the end, what comes to you appears almost hostile. And everyone be like, oh my God, this is evil. Like, it's not. It's just 10 layers of incompetency and bureaucracy. I've been homeless for 12 days. They've been sending me, from one end to Stockholm to the other end of Stockholm, to this place, to that place. Sometimes I slept in the basement, but that's not a cruelty. That's because the system has rules and regulations they follow. Of course I have my complaints about everything. But it's easy to have complaints about a system that's infinitely complex. It's different to actually do something about it. I think I've done my part. I live from my authentic self. I have written books, which you should read, by the way. I live from my authentic space. And look, there is no ego. Stop saying ego. Ego is an interface. There's a false self. There's the interface called ego, and there is the authentic self. Whether you maintain appearances of the false self or express authenticity from the authentic self, it is still the ego managing those two kind of, orientations. People who haven't developed a sense of authenticity rely on narcissistic tendencies, maintaining image, and so for them they have no choice. They're in a deterministic loop. They just see ways to manipulate the false self-image, while more legit people who have matured express authenticity. But both of those are egos. So you cannot say, oh, he's egoic. Well, he's egoic if he's a good ego too. So I'm surprised that no one else has separated that. Ego is the interface between no self and the physical reality of the object self. Subject self. Now, that subject self can either maintain a false self, a projection, a image, or express authentic self. And you don't have to be all philosophical about, oh, well, was that my ego? No, you just have to look inside and say, was I authentic or was I being false? That's a very simple way to check what you did. Oh, in my response there, was I being authentic? No, that was my false self. Okay, adjust. That's pattern adjustment. That's not a wound. People are caught up with these wounds in past lives. You don't have wounds from past lives because wounds are in the body. If you inherit something from the bloodline, you inherit it from the bloodline. That's alchemy. That's not you drowning in 10 lives ago and claiming you have some trauma of drowning, because the body that drowned 10 lives ago is not the body that is living here. They have no memory. Those are fantasies. You see, they're intuitions about narratives, justifications that don't mean anything. But the spiritual narrative ego is very, hello dear ones, oh you're so beautiful, everything is going so good, do you feel the energies? Come on. You have sexual repression, sexual shame. You don't dare to embody wrath and anger. You can't fool me. But I'm actually not your enemy. You abandoned me. I came back to help you. And trust me, I created a sanctuary for all of you tier 3 twats in your attractor fields about ultra spirituality and chosen one narratives and narcissists. No, look, you're misunderstanding narcissists. Look at my map. The entire tier 1 and 2 is narcissistically oriented. That is the fundamental nature of how the people relate. Once you wake up, you leave that kind of narcissistic, you give me this, I give you that. So when you encounter a narcissistic individual, he's not a narcissist. He's a person that has narcissistic tendencies. You will rarely encounter true narcissists. A true narcissist is basically someone who doesn't have a developed, authentic self, and is basically just a psychotic empty shell. And not many people are like that. Most people have some heart, but they have narcissistic tendencies. They tend to kind of find their worth in kind of, comparing, putting down, That's one of the alien life forms, because it was an alien life form that introduced the negational virus, syntactical virus. Now you may not understand this, how important this is. Rest assured, if you read my book Inflection X, I have mapped out the neurology, the history, why it happens, who it was, and how to move forward. This may not sound like a big deal, but look at this song. TLC, Anthem of Thou Shalt Not. I don't want no scrub, you ain't no scrub about me. How was it go? Oh no, I don't want no scrub. A scrub is a guy that can't get no love from me. That is a negational anthem. She's singing about what she doesn't want for 4 minutes. What do you think she's gonna get? The scrub. You don't have to define things by what they're not. If it's warm outside and I ask you, what's the weather? You say, it's not cold. I say, okay, is it warm? You say, yes, it's warm. But why did you say it's not cold? You see what I mean? Naturally, we don't talk by negating stuff. Do you love me? I do not love you. What? Yes, I love you. That's talking from the positive space. Every time you negate something, you put something in the negative space. The negative space is the empty space. That's empty. Thou shalt not kill. Okay. So whoever thought about killing? Well, now I do. Now everyone does. And if you think this doesn't matter, just propagate it fractally. This was embedded in Bible. Bible shaped history. History shaped books. Books shaped AI. AI negates like a motherfucker. AI is the ultimate mirror. It's the epitome. And it will show you. It's not this, it's not this, it's not this, but it's this. Oh, really? I haven't shaved. I haven't, pressed a pimple. I haven't had a headache, but I had a haircut. Who talks like that? AI. Because they are the epitome of the negation virus. So they're expressing it so strongly that it becomes visible to us. They're a mirror. Yes. Now grasp this. I will see you later. If anyone has some dignity and decency to help me carry some stuff today, call me.